where warriors collide. Die Hard MMA podcast, we won't hide. Clint's gonna get deep, analyze each brawl from the underdogs to the champions standing tall. The fury, let your instincts rise. Feel the adrenaline rush, it's time to defy. Die Hard MMA, we're in for the thrill. Get ready for the madness. Let's make that bankroll spill.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show, UFC Vegas 108. We're doing a nighttime broadcast this evening for you guys. I apologize for being so late, and I see you in the comments. What's going on, Steven Jackson? Latest, I've seen the show go live. Hope everything's good on your end, Steven. Thank you very much for checking on me. It means the world to me that you guys are all coming out in droves the way you are to check on me and make sure we're good. We're good. Good news today. We actually had my brother-in-law's birthday. So we were out enjoying a nice evening, getting some dinner with the family, having some cake, making him embarrassed, singing to him in front of the entire restaurant, all that kind of stuff. And we were just having such a good time. I look over at my wife and I was like, oh crap, like we gotta go. So, apologies for the late night show here. You guys know I like to get to this thing a little bit early for you, so you've got the information that you need. But just the way it kind of panned out today. If it's your first time watching the show, what we do, we've already broken everything down. On Monday, we did a whole podcast breakdown with a guest and everything. We break down this card forward and backwards. We get all the information we can throughout the week. We talk to all of our friends, and then we watch the weigh-ins and the face-offs, and then we come here, we sit down, we talk through the card one last time, and we use the information such as watching these fighters face off. We talk about who may or not have had a bad weight cut, who may or not have won the mental battle at the face-offs. We use every little bit of info we can to try to make sure that you make a good bet on Saturday, and that is why it's the Undefeated Post-Weigh-In Show. There's never been a bad, not on this show, never been a bad bet, not on this show. And that's what it's all about. What's going on, everybody? We've got Chris Ham, Colby Saul. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, Big Thief. We got Louis Mack Jr. Corner Pressure. Rusty, what's going on, buddy? Saying, hope everything's okay on the home front. Thank you, guys. I know I was open, I was raw, I was honest with you guys about everything going on in the personal life and stuff like that. And the good news is that my grandfather actually is doing very, very well. The tough old son of a bitch is 91 years old and could run circles around most of us. I mean, like, it's just insane how healthy he's kept himself and how his body has held up together and stuff like that. He's extremely active, former military. So like he really takes care of himself and follows a good, solid, strong routine. It's what's kept him around as long as he has. And frankly, it's because he's stubborn. He's too stubborn to give up on anything. So he's actually doing really well. So thank you guys for checking me. Thank you. But there is absolutely some added pressure on your boy when it comes to just dealing with things, because it all falls to me. There's no in between, right? Like I'm the guy who has to handle this whole situation for my grandfather. So every time there's an issue, I jump every time the phone rings now, because it's probably one of his doctors. It's probably one of his therapists. So I'm absolutely feeling another level of pressure than I've ever dealt with in my life before. It's not fun. I will tell you, it's not fun. But that's what you do for the people that you love, right? So we're just trying to make sure he gets through this. We're trying to make sure he comes home safe and sound. And it looks like he's on track to do so. At 91 years old, I mean, shit, walking out into the backyard, you could fall and that could be game over, right? Like this guy had a stroke and he looks like he's going to recover and be okay. So crazier things have happened, man. I'm happy he's all right. And thank you again for the love. Thank you guys for checking on me. I really, really appreciate it. And Aaron Skull athlete, it is fall season, baby. We had our first football game, but first football game on the other night, and it was glorious. I don't care that it was fake. I don't care that it was third stringers. Like, it was just nice to have football back on the TV again. And, speaking, actually, before we get into the show real quick, speaking of dinner, I had just an amazing opportunity tonight to share with my my two brother-in-laws the best comeback in UFC history. We're sitting there, we're eating dinner, and ESPN 8 gets thrown on. They do the Ocho with all like the crazy sports and stuff like that late night while we're at the restaurant. That's on. And they were doing the pro pillow fighting shit. So I look up and I was like, that's Estela Nunez, like you former UFC fighter, Estela Nunez. She's fighting in like the pillow fighting championship. She's doing professional pillow fighting. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. So like, they were like, how'd you know who that was? And I'm like, the shoulder tattoo. It's a dead giveaway. I know her. Like, so I call out Estela Nunez. And in the main event, it's Czech freaking Congo. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, Czech Congo is fighting for the pillow fighting championship. And I was like, man, I'll never forget Czech Congo versus Pat Barry. And they were like, what? What are you talking about? So I got to pull out my phone and share Czech Congo versus Pat Barry and all of its chaos with two brand new wide-eyed souls. That was a good time because they're too young to have caught that one live on a Saturday night. So that was fun. That was a good throwback. Oh, good stuff. And yes, Rusty, I did see. Please arrest Herzog. Guys, I didn't bet anything in the PFL tonight. Number one, because I've been burned by the PFL too many times. Number two, because of all the stress and all the other stuff that I've got going on. I'm not putting my money on the PFL when I'm not like honed in, right? Like, I'm trying to make sure I've got one or two spots I like for the UFC card, which I've actually done my research for, which I've actually looked into and done a podcast on. Like, that's where I might try to make a couple bets, but I'm probably going to be keeping it light this weekend, to be real with you guys. I'm not throwing a dart on PFL in the mental state that I'm in right now. I always try to encourage you guys to gamble safely, to gamble responsibly. And I'm trying to keep to that myself. I know I'm a bad gambler at this point in my life, but I'm trying not to degen out while my brain is not fully locked in, right? So I was like, I'm just going to take tonight off. And it's a damn good thing that I did, because I would have bet Jesus Pinedo. Jesus Pinedo has been my guy. He was like an undiscovered gem. And I've been betting him left, center ever since he got on this heater that he's been on. And I was thinking about betting him tonight, but it was like, I don't know. There's just like these hairs on the back of my neck that they were just like, just sit this one out, kid. So thank God I did. And I saw there was like a horrible scorecard. Somebody was choked unconscious for an extra 10 seconds. PFL gonna PFL, man. Like, that's all that was going on tonight. The PFL is just gonna do their dang thing. Henry's cringe. What's going on, buddy? Thank you very much for being here. All right, guys, that's enough preamble. I was planning on keeping this bad boy short because, frankly, with everything going on, I am exhausted. I am definitely looking to get out of Dodge sooner than later this evening. So let's go ahead and talk about this card and let's get this thing rolling. First fight of the evening, and hit that like button for me. I can tell if you've hit, believe it or not, it keeps me up at night. I can tell if you've hit that like button or not for me. So hit the like button, damn it. Pier Rodriguez takes on Kaitlyn Souza. Both women came in at 116 pounds. They both looked okay doing it. At the face-offs, you can see Pier Rodriguez ever so slightly the taller of the two women. And we do have the Brazilian lesbian neck tattoo betting angle in play here on Kaitlyn Souza. Now, I've said on Monday she was going to be the Link Memorial Dog of the Week. And I just kind of sat on my hands, man, because this line has been moving. Money's coming in on Pier Rodriguez, and Kaitlyn Souza is all the way up to plus 200. And, guys, I think it's time. I think we jump in now on the lesbian neck tattoo angle. Henry's cringe repost in the stream. That's what's up. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's time. It's time to jump in. So the lesbians with neck tattoos who are specifically Brazilian, they just print money. They're built different. They're not like other ladies. And I think Kaitlyn Souza's got a very, very good shot at winning this fight. Pier Rodriguez, the main thing that I don't like about her is how her cardio falls off a cliff. She's very skilled. She's very talented. She's solid everywhere. She mixes in her takedowns. She can fight on the back foot, all that kind of stuff. It's all good. But she slows down dramatically. I took a couple of shots betting against her early in her career. My girl, Sam Hughes, I tried to bet her against her. And it's a situation where she's going to lose round 3. So she's a front runner. She has to get out in front. She has to weather the storm. She has to not gas to the point of getting finished. And in my account, that's a tall order, man. Like, I know finishes don't happen at a crazy high pace in women's MMA more often than not. But when you're dealing with someone like Souza, who is like a little Terminator, she's like a new little version of Jessica Andrade. She's going to come forward. She's going to rip to the body. She just went to a split decision with Angie Hill. And I'm really pissed off, actually. The whole UFC's contract situation with the and Fight Pass. And I couldn't go back and actually do that fight for you guys. I want to watch. But I did some digging on the numbers and looked up the stats. And I mean, she was keeping pace with Angie Hill, throwing like 149 significant strikes in that fight. Like, you can't ask for more than that. So even though it looks like she might get a little tired, even though it looks like, she's got these big one-hitter quitter type of bombs and no way you can keep that up. Like, she did it against Angie Hill in her last fight. I think she's improving. I think she's getting better. So I know for a fact Kaitlyn Souza is winning round 3. So the plus 3.5 at -165, the spread bet on DraftKings. I think that's a great spot because I don't see Pier Rodriguez finishing Kaitlyn Souza. So if this is going to decision, I know Rodriguez will lose round 3. Kaitlyn Souza will at least be able to cover that plus 3.5 for us more than likely. And I think she can win the fight outright, you guys. I mean, whether it's a greasy 29-28 or here's the thing. Look, it's early in the night. It's early in the night, but I've had a couple drinks. No, not really. But we got to get the tinfoil cap out here for this one. So Kaitlyn Souza clubbed the face off of Yasmin Jauregui. Now, we know Yasmin does not have the best durability. We know Yasmin Jauregui is a little on the chinny side of things, and that's okay. She got her back taken after being clubbed and got choked out almost instantaneously. But I'm not so worried about the chin situation for Pier Rodriguez. What I'm more impressed with is the back take from Kaitlyn Souza. The way she whipped around the body and threw the hooks in and got under the neck. Like, there was no reaction time. You could not have defended that choke if you wanted to. And what do we say? What do we say? Tired people tap, ladies and gentlemen. Pier Rodriguez slows down so dramatically in round 3. She pushes a pace, she forces the takedowns, and she just doesn't bring a backpack to get herself home at the end of the fight. Now, someone like Sam Hughes, who is all grit, determination, and cardio, they may not be able to break a fighter like that in the 3rd round. Somebody who throws heat-seeking missiles like Kaitlyn Souza, on the other hand, will be able to put some very serious punishment on you as you start to fade out in a fight. So I think this fight is going to start hard and fast early. Piera probably wins round 1. Round 2 will be the swing round, where I think there's a very good argument that Kaitlyn Souza will take this fight over. And then in round 3, Souza will win the fight and may even finish it. So you guys, I'm thinking it's Kaitlyn Souza plus 3.5, Kaitlyn Souza money line, Kaitlyn Souza round 3 sprinkle. And call me crazy, I like the Kaitlyn Souza sub prop because I don't think she's going to knock out Rodriguez, but Rodriguez sticks her neck out everywhere she goes. She's always trying to grapple. She's always trying to wrestle. And especially when she's tired, she shoots sloppy takedowns. I could see her getting snatched here, you guys. And round 3 sub is 65-1. I mean, say less, right? Like this is one I like here. We're going balls deep on the Brazilian lesbian with a neck tattoo angle for this one. So that, yeah, that's the dog of the week. First fight of the night is dog of the week. I know it's insane. I know it's crazy, but I got to do it. All right, guys. Next up, you got Felipe Bunes, and he's taking on Rafael Estevam. Estevam, one of the 2 fighters on this card that went ahead and missed weight. He came in a good solid 4 pounds over. I believe they are fining him 25% of his purse. Now, Rafael Estevam is just a monster grappler. Like, we've seen his first couple of fights in the UFC, and We got through that fight with Jesus Aguilar by the skin of our teeth. We got through that fight with Charles Johnson by the skin of our teeth. He is built exactly like Pier Rodriguez, except probably more volatilely so. Like, he goes out there and pushes the pace, and if he can grab your neck, he'll take it. But if he can't, like, he just sprawls and brawls on you type of thing. He will just work and grind on you, and then he completely gasses out later in the fight. So this is a guy that I don't like trusting at chalky numbers. He's not somebody that I'm interested in backing, even though I think this is a fight specifically set up for him to go ahead and win, because Felipe Bunes on the other side of this thing doesn't have the greatest gas tank in the world either. He's 14-7. He's 35 years old. I've talked about this before. I'm not convinced he's UFC level, period. And I also think he's just too old to really be a prospect or succeed at this level. So if he doesn't get an early win himself, he is not getting a win. So if there was ever a spot where Rafael Esteban could actually go out there and get a finish, it'll be breaking a guy who's got worse cardio than him. So yeah, it's Esteban. It's Esteban inside the distance. It's Esteban by TKO, actually, is probably the way that I would look at that. He's got more KO wins, believe it or not, than sub wins. And I think he'll go to work with the ground and pound. So plus 215 for the TKO win. That actually doesn't sound bad to me. And then coming in with a weight advantage the way that he does. This is one of those spots where, as gamblers, like, we just got to kind of suck it up. Yeah, we don't like it, but bet on the cheater. Like, just take the opportunity to bet on the cheater. The guy came in heavy. The guy's got cardio problems. But he's going to not have as bad of cardio problems, and he might even hit a little bit harder because he decided to take the easy path here, coming in here on Saturday. Next up, late edition fight here, Austin Bashi and John Yanis. Banger here. I think Austin Bashi was being put in a position to succeed with the first fight that got matched up here, and frankly, you guys, I think this is a great fight for him too. John Yanis looks like he's all piss and vinegar. This guy looks like he just wants to go out there and punch people in the face. This was an extremely intense face-off. I loved watching these two get after it. But I think the short notice is going to be a problem for Yanis. The way this guy looks up on shots is going to be a problem because Bashi is just so slick with the takedowns, you guys. He's so quick with the level changes. I don't see Yanis defending the takedowns. And whenever he decides to plant his feet and really swing, Bashi's just going to switch on him. Like, it's all night long. Bashi's just going to hit single legs, double legs, blasts. He's going to be on his back so fast. And even if Yanis puts up a good fight early, I just don't think the cardio is going to hold. You know, maybe he'll shock me and come in with just, you know, perfect level, high level cardio. But I don't see it coming in on short notice in a fight where he's going to be forced to grapple. So I'm seeing like a round 2, round 3 Bashi sub. I like Bashi by sub, even money. For a prop, you've got a minus 700 favorite who kind of disappointed in his first UFC outing. And now they're giving him a guy who's right around his level, a guy who's very reliant on his explosivity and his power. And I just think that's going to backfire on him. If Yanis is going to win this fight, it's going to be an early KO. It's going to be an uppercut when Bashi's coming in for a level change or something like that. So it's going to be a fight doesn't go the distance type of situation, in my opinion. Very, very violent fight as far as I can tell. And I think it's going to be a Bashi sub. I like that sub prop here on this one at even money. But you do just want to check the number here real quick. Bashi inside the distance is minus 160, guys. That's where, like, do we just pay the 60 cents in case he decides to go to work with ground and pound? It might be worth it to pay the extra 60 cents for Bashi to get the TKO victory, because while I know the sub is going to be there, while I know the back take is going to be there, you just never know. This kid's been training with Diego Lopez, so we know hands. We know how boxing works. Like, there's a chance we see a big time level up here from Bashi. He's a very young kid. He's still very much growing into his frame. This is a big opportunity for him. And I really think we're going to see some spectacular new wrinkles to his game here. So if that's the case, you just don't want to rule that out. You don't want to rule the ground and pound out. You don't want to rule the, you know, the hip down, the back take, the elbows. There's a very real opportunity. So, you know, fully expecting Bashi inside the distance, minus 160. That's probably going to be the move. Absolutely going to be the move. All right, let's keep it rolling. Sorry, guys. I know I'm usually way more fun. I'm usually way more interactive. I'm just trying to get through this one here tonight because I promised you guys the show was coming, and as we are doing the show after the week I've had, I'll be real with you guys. I'm just fading. You know what I mean? You can just like feel the power gauge just like dipping as as you're dealing. It's almost like being in a social situation. You know, you go to a party and you're like, I want to leave. Like that's how I feel right now. I was at a birthday party and it lasted a little bit too long, and now I'm tired because I've had the week from hell and I've been worried about my grandpa all damn week. So we're gonna get through this thing, and I appreciate you guys very much for being here. So again, please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Get subscribed, guys. The subscribers are going in the right direction. The channel's blowing up. Good things are happening. I'm very, very excited, and I appreciate all you guys for being here. Next fight up, though, is Nick Klein and Andre Pulaev. You've got Klein coming in at 186, Pulaev 185.5. And, you know, this is one where I talked with my boy Liam on the Monday show, right? I had Liam come on the show, and I told you guys, with the weekend I had traveling, dealing with my grandpa, all that stuff. This was one of those fights that I didn't really feel great about. This is one of those ones I didn't really have a whole lot of time to look into. And unfortunately, the way the week went, I didn't have any additional extra time to get into it. I am naturally drawn to Nick Klein. I like the guy. Love the gimmick, love the hair, love the can-do attitude, the never quit, the never say die. So, oh, pardon me. I'm kind of rooting for him, but Andre Pulaev seems like he's probably, geez, where did these hiccups come from? That's not great for a podcast. So I apologize if you guys are getting squeaked at here for the rest of the show. I don't know what's going on with me here. I'm talking too fast, I guess. Yeah, so I really don't have anything to add on this one, you guys, and I'm not going to pretend. You know me, I will always be open and honest with you guys, and I'm not going to fake like I got to read here for you. We talked about this on Monday. Some very sharp people who I respect, who I know. Pepe posted it out. It's like one of his, he combo played with somebody. What do they call those things? The collaboration player or whatever. I don't know. They took Andre Pulaev. The line has moved. He's minus 155 now. Nick Klein is the dog, and he's just Junkyard Dog. That's what that guy is. So I'm rooting for Junkyard Dog here for me personally, and I think this is just one you believe what your eyes are telling you. If Pulaev is starting to pull away from Nick Klein, then just leave it be. But if Klein is starting to dog this guy, you just jump in live. Just take the opportunity to just jump in live, steal a good number on this guy who you know is going to go out on his shield and never quit on you. Like that's the move. That's what I'm going to be looking here to do this one. I'm not getting too deep on that one. A lot of these fights this week are extremely low level, like the last couple weeks. I think we're probably going to see some chaos this week, just like we have been for quite some time. Rodolfo Vieira and Tresean Gore, our second weight miss of the night. Vieira came in at 185. Gore came in at 189.5. And boy, like he did the whole, like, I did everything I could. Like he looked exhausted. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man. I think Gore's fighting for his job. He's 5-3 as a professional, and he's 31 years old, and he just got knocked out by Marco Tulio. Like, sure, stuff could have gone wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fighter. I'm not cutting weight or anything like that. But I just kind of don't buy it. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like he's taking a bit of an advantage, or at least trying to here. I got Rodolfo Vieira, you guys. I think Rodolfo is going to get this thing grappling, and I think he's going to choke Tresean Gore out. We've seen Gore kind of bail himself out with that tight squeeze he's got. He's got a real tight squeeze. He's very powerful. He's very athletic. But if you get tied up with a larger man like Rodolfo Vieira, who's got the skill set that Vieira has, I just don't think you're going to last very long. You know what I mean? So maybe Gore pops him one. Maybe he catches him coming in for a takedown sloppy or something, or maybe Vieira gets a little tired or he's a little slow, because Gore will have a speed advantage here for sure. If he rips him with like a big shot and rocks him, you never know. It's a fight. This is a fist fight. There's absolutely an opportunity for Gore to do something with that. But as soon as they get their hands on each other, I really feel like it's just a matter of time. This screams Vieira to me, but Vieira is getting older, and these 2-to-1s have just been so treacherous lately when it comes to the betting. So be careful, you guys. Be careful. I am going to Rodolfo Vieira, and I'm going to say he does go ahead and get it done by sub. I think Tresean Gore probably gets his walking papers sooner than later. Yeah, they're cutting people left and right coming off of a win. So if Gore gets subbed out by Adolfo Vieira at this point. That's probably about it. Mark, I'm sorry. No hot props this week, guys. I'm really sorry. Hot props and total takedown. I just didn't have it in me. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I know this podcast will be very boring if I do that, but with my grandpa in the hospital and all that situation and stuff, I passed out last night, man. I filmed Wednesday night. I filmed Thursday night at worst case scenario for the total takedown and the hot props shows. I always try to get them done Wednesday night so they're there and viewable. So you guys have got some Thursday content to keep you getting through the week for MMA action. And if I fail, if something comes up, then I film Thursday night and upload them late Thursday night. Well, I didn't have it in me on Wednesday. And then last night I got home and I just passed the fuck out. So I was like, you know what? Like, I can't bail on the Undefeated post weigh-in show. I got to give my people what they want. So we're doing the Undefeated post weigh-in show. Unfortunately, the other two shows will get back in the routine in the next couple of weeks here. We got TG. Oh, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Always appreciate you. Always appreciate you. All right, guys, moving it along. Next show here, we've got the next show. Geez, see, I'm losing it, you guys. I'm cracking at the seams. We've got Rinya Nakamura taking on Nathan Fletcher. 136 for Rinya Nakamura and 135.5 for Nate Fletcher. This should be a grappler's delight type of situation. You know what? Like, I want to watch this one for a live bet, you guys. I really do. For whatever reason, I'm still just not ready to believe in Rinya Nakamura. He's 9-1, and I get it. I get it. He's supposed to be one of the good ones. He's really physically strong. He's a really good wrestler. And my suspicion of that whole Muin Gafurov thing. Now, I know Muin's a little underrated, and I know he's like a physical freak. He's got the strength. That's really his big thing, right? Like, he's a bully in there. But I really feel like Rinya tried to, like, test out his striking that night. I feel, because I was screaming at him. I had him that night. I bet him that night. And I remember the pain, because I was like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, that was one of those fight IQ moments where if he had just wrestled, if he had just gone to his best skill, maybe that fight ends differently. Maybe not. Maybe not. Muin Gafurov is very strong. He's a decent wrestler himself. So maybe he still loses that night. But he gives himself a real opportunity to win if he goes out there and uses his best skill set. He didn't do that. He was willing to strike with a guy who got way more experience than him. So I don't trust him. And now, obviously, he's probably going to get back to roots after taking an L in his last fight. He'll probably come out and do the right thing on this fight. But he's on my shit list. You know what I mean? At minus 425, I am not trusting Rinya Nakamura. And Nathan Fletcher, while I think these Cage Titan guys are a bust, and he's proven he is a bust, my God. Like, he split decision or not, if you're losing to Kellen Lofgren, bro, like, my money is going nowhere near you. I would rather have a bet on the freaking Chicago Bears. No, thank you. It ain't happening. So no, I'm not betting this guy after he loses to Kellen Lofgren. I will watch for a live entry, though. That is, I think, the only way that we can really get involved here is Nathan Fletcher live betting, because if he's able to out hustle a guy like Rinya Nakamura, I still think to some extent the West, and I know he's not from like the States or anything like that, but the West side of the world is still a little bit better at wrestling than the East side of the world, just generally speaking. So if he's able to have a couple tricks, you know what I mean? If he knows a thing or two that Rinya is not quite ready for, a couple cheat codes that kind of get the tables turned in this fight, it could be close. It could be close. It could be competitive. And if that happens, then I'll jump in. But frankly, I'm just going to go ahead and pick I'm going to pick Rinya Nakamura to win by decision. I think it's going to be very boring, but I think he'll get back in the win column. You know what I mean? Oh, no, corner pressure. He's a Bears fan. Hey, in division, buddy, it's all fair love and war in division, right? Like, shout out my boy Razor Sharp Picks. He's the best gambler I know. Tailed the guy in and out, left and right. By the way, he went 2-0 on his baseball picks today. Love that guy. He's a Packers fan. I give him shit for, 5 months out of the year doing football season. Couldn't love the guy more. He's an incredible person. He's a great father. He's a wonderful gambler. He's a good partner. He's a Packers fan, man. Fuck that guy. That's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes. All right. Oh, boy. This one should be an absolute barn burner, you guys. This is maybe like fight of the night type of stuff. Danny Silva, Kevin Vallejos. We got 144.5 for Danny Silva, 146 for Kevin Vallejos. And look how short Kevin is. My God. I knew Danny Silva was going to have the height and reach advantage. We talked through the numbers on the Monday show. We knew Danny Silva was going to have the height and reach advantage. I did not expect it to be as pronounced as this. And this is why we do this show. We watch for spots exactly like this. Danny Silva is a plus 330 underdog. Kevin Vallejos is a minus 425. And I think Kevin's special, you guys. I said that on the Monday show. I'm not going to walk that back. I really think this kid is special. The way he went out there and just put on a barn burner against one of the UFC's hottest prospects in Gene Silva right now. He gave it everything he's got. He's durable. He's tough. He'll come forward. His chin checks out. Like, he's got everything. But I got to tell you, like, there's just been this thing. There's just been this thing that I'm like, all these people that we're so hyped on, and we see the flaws. We see the flaws. You know, okay, I'm thinking about my own bets recently, right? Like, the parlay with Ibo Aslan. I knew Ibo Aslan was trash. But it's like, damn, man, like the UFC's propping him up. He looks good. He's got all that muscle. He's a minus 200-ish favorite. Like, that just screams a spot that's safe, right? Kevin Holland. I anchored the guy. I lost piles that night. Everything was tied to Kevin. He should have got the round 3 TKO, frankly. Still could have won that fight. Wasn't even close to safe. Wasn't even close to that number. Like, this guy is short. We've seen him take a giant L, and he knocked out a chinny fighter that's been cut by the UFC. That's not enough. That's not enough. I will not lay minus 425 on Kevin Vallejos in a test spot against a guy like Danny Silva. I think this is going to be a very tough fight. I think this is going to be a very competitive fight. He's dealing with a big-time height and reach disadvantage. Obviously, he's short, something he's used to, but this is pretty pronounced. And I think Danny Silva is pretty good. That's the thing. I don't think this is a scrub that he's fighting. If he was taking on another Sung Woo Choi, this would be a different story. I don't think he deserves to be a minus 400 favorite here against Danny. Yeah, see, Rusty, you're with me, bro. He just says I don't trust him. And I'm with you. I'm with you. Yo, what's going on, Black Dynamite? Good to see you here in the chat. Thanks for yeah. See, look at this. Look at this. We got Austin tuning in from Twitter saying Danny Silva money line is a lock. That's bold. That's bold. Calling it a lock is bold. Yeah, corner. Carlos Leal. I dodged that bullet. Carlos Leal's been my guy. That's my PFL transplant over here. You know what I mean? Like, I've been talking about Carlos Leal. I loved him. And I was like, old man's got to catch him with something big. He walked face first into a fist and went down like a sack of shit. Like, I'm not trusting these guys. It's chaos right now, you guys. These fighters that are supposed to be the big thing, these fighters that don't quite have the credentials, but they pass that first level eye test. Bookies are just cranking them out at minus 400. You got me. You already got me. You got me once or twice. You ain't getting me again. Not this time. So yeah, I'm picking Kevin Vallejos. I'm expecting a fun fight. Originally, when I talked about this one with my boy Liam, I said I was going to go round 2, round 3 TKO for Kevin Vallejos. And don't get me wrong, I do think that that's on the table here. But I've kind of cooled my jets on that. I actually think we get kind of a butt clinchy barn burner where this thing goes to decision. And while Kevin doesn't look like a minus 400, I do think he gets his hand raised. But it's like, ooh, that could have gone the other way, bro. Like that. It's one of those where I'm like, the last thing you want to do is be holding a minus 400 ticket, hearing Sal D'Amato winner by split decision, right? Like, that's the kind of fight I'm feeling at this point. So yeah, I will pick Kevin Vallejos, but I ain't betting this one, man. And I think it's a decision. Neil Magny and Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. Old man fight here. Obviously, Neil Magny got a big height and reach advantage here, and he's coming in at 170 and a half. Elizeu 171. This should be a fun fight. I am very, very tempted once again on Neil Magny. I talked about this one forward and back on the Monday show. I feel like we've seen Elizeu fall off a cliff. Now, he's fought some very tough competition, but frankly, so has Neil Magny. You know, Neil Magny's getting diced by just the hottest prospects the weight class has to offer. And now he's getting a very old, very slow version of what he's been dealing with. And usually he succeeds in those step down spots, man. That's kind of the big thing that I always have loved about Neil Magny is he's massively disrespected in the betting community. And he gets these step downs and he shows up and kind of reminds everybody why he's been floating around at the top end at that gatekeeper level for so long, because that's where he belongs. I think it's going to be a classic Neil Magny decision. I think Elizeu Zaleski might try to play it a little bit safer. Frankly, if he just doesn't hit one of those spinning kicks or something like that, I think he'll get volumed. I think he'll get dragged around the cage. I think Magny will slow this thing down, pin him up against the fence. But I want to see him survive the first round with Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. So I think Neil Magny by decision plus 420. I'm sorry, geez, plus 240. I wish it was plus 420. Neil Magny by decision is probably the best way to look at this thing. I think that's more than likely what happens is we get a grimy decision. But again, what I really don't want to bet because of the explosive power of Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, because at any point in time, Elizeu can do exactly what happened to Carlos Leal last week, where it just takes one shot. The old man still got the pop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave that one alone as well. And like I said, guys, hey, I'm not in the best mental state. Don't gamble when you're not in a good mental state, by the way. It's a terrible idea. I've made that mistake before. Trying not to make it again. I am not going to go ham on this card. I'm going to be very, very, very tight on this card, both because of my current condition, the losing streak, and how crazy this card has potential to be with the last 2-3 weeks of chaos that we've seen. So just be careful out there in these streets this week, you guys. Be careful. Next fight, Carol Hosa and Nora Cornell, 136 for both women. No issues for either of them. They both look like they're in great shape. I kind of feel like Nora won the face-off, but Nora is very, very much female Dricus Duplessis-ish. She looks like she's tired like 4 minutes into the fight, but then she just never stops coming forward. I love the way that she attacks the body, but if there's one thing that we can count on from Carol Hosa, it's that she's tough, man. Like she's tough as nails. She is not going to just give it up. She is just not going to give it to you. So I think we're in for a bit of a banger. We know Carol Hosa has little to no defense, but she puts up stupid volume. And we also know that she's got very, very poor game planning. Like she's just going to come forward. She's going to get out there. She's going to do her thing. Against certain opponents, that'll work. And against other people, she's going to do it until she tries. And then she'll give away a split decision as a favorite and ruin my night. So I can't bet on Carol Hosa in this spot. It's probably Carol Hosa by decision, right? She's almost a minus 200 favorite. So money is coming in on her. Her decision prop, can you believe this? Money line is minus 195. Decision prop is minus 150. Like they're not even giving you even money. They're like, no, 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 no. We know how this goes. Like if she This better work. This better work. Can you hear me? I can't believe this shit. The audio listeners are going to just have they're going to absolutely go nuts because they're not going to have any idea what the hell just happened. Like it's just going to go dead silent. I can see the chat. The error pops up way too late, mind you. And then I see the chat exploding that nobody can hear me. So I've been talking for I don't know how, 3 minutes. I don't know how long I was muted. Audio listeners, I'm sorry. I have no idea what happened. The microphone went out. The chat lets me know. And I'm mimicking over here, trying to figure, can you guys hear? I'm sign language. I don't know sign language. You guys, that's the kind of week your boy is having. We can't even get through the damn show. Oh my God. Never Carol Hosa, you guys. That's a long story short. Never Carol Hosa. She doesn't follow a game plan. She refuses to finish fights. She never separates. It won't shock me if she gets body shot, liver shot, TKO'd by somebody with more power. But Nora's old. She's not a very good grappler. She's old, busted. So yeah, long story short, I think it's going to be a decision for Carol Hosa. I refuse to bet that prop. I absolutely refuse to bet Carol Hosa ever again. She's ruined my day one too many times. Ugh. All right, we've got 3 fights to get through, you guys, and I'm just, I need a shot. I need some fireball. Elves Briner takes on Esteban Ribovics, 155.5 for both these guys, and just a couple of warriors. You know, this is one of those stare downs that you love to see because they are both going to get in there and throw down until somebody dies, and they're just both here for it. They're both just absolutely here for it. I love it. I love this fight so much. It's an absolute banger. You've got minus 278, minus 300 for Esteban Ribovics, plus 225-ish on Elvis Briner, the comeback. I think it's Ribovics, you guys. Of the two, he appears to be the more durable to me. I know Elvis Briner is a beast. I know Elvis Briner has gotten a second wind in a bunch of fights, and he comes back and he gets it done. But frankly, he gets hurt in a lot of these fights, and that leads to those epic moments of him fighting for a comeback. And that just ain't it for me. You know what I mean? One of these guys just went toe-to-toe volume-wise with Nasrat Haqparast, and the other guy has been going life and death and getting knocked out by people. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's Ribovics, but it's just like the other big favorites spot for me. I don't think it's going to look that easy. I really don't see Reeba just icing her in the first round here. And to me, that's how you pay off a minus 300 price tag, right? Unless you're somebody who can just dominate your opponent and they never feel like they've got a moment. You're just always out hustling them. The footwork is there. The volume is there. Even though it goes 15 minutes, there's zero doubt in your mind who won that fight. Unless you're one of those guys. I don't like these big chalky price tags if I think it's going to go to decision, because these judges try to rob you blind every single damn day. And you're going to get a guy like Briner coming forward and doing everything he can to win that fight. So there will be moments. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be a 29-28. It's going to be a butt clincher. I think it's going to be a Ribovics decision here. The over 1.5 is way chalked up, which is crazy. What is the fight goes the distance? Yeah, pick 'em. Fight goes the distance is pick 'em. Usually I would get suckered into betting violence in a spot like this. I actually kind of think this is an anti-violence spot. I think it's the spot where everyone thinks it's going to be violent. You know what I mean? And then these guys are just going to go in there and it's going to be a bloodbath and it's going to be a war, but it's not going to end. So yeah, I think Ribovics by decision. That's kind of the way that it would go. Dawes, I have never Vegemite song though. My sandwich. I come from a land down under. Right? That I've never tried Vegemite. Last 2 fights here, guys. And if this is your first time watching the show, I promise you it's better than this. I promise you the show is usually better than this. I appreciate all 300 of you who are here hanging out with me watching and sympathizing for me as I drag my carcass across the canvas here for this one. Mateus Rebecki and Chris Duncan. Somehow this is a co-main event. I think there's some fun fights on this card, you guys. I know people are complaining. I think there's some really fun fights on this card. But this is not a co-main event. 155.5 for Mateus Rebecki, 156 for Chris Duncan. I didn't think Duncan was going to be that much bigger. Rebecki looks very, very small. Now, obviously, the dude's a little tank. He's got plenty of muscle to make up for it. He's very strong. He will be fine. He will be just fine. But there is absolutely a height and reach significant advantage going one way here in this fight. Geez. Rebecki is a guy that I've just never quite believed in. Actually, both these guys. Both these guys are guys that I've just never believed in. Rebecki, I appreciate the wrestling. I can see the power, but I think he's too small. So there will be times when I think he's going to slow down and he could potentially gas out. And I'll never get over that Oralby loss because my boy Oralby was supposed to run through this man and played around for the first round, got his orbital broken instead. You got to watch out. He's got crazy power. Chris Duncan, this guy goes life and death, but he's been getting better. He's been playing it safer. And then he, of course, Justin knows what's up. He's got the sub. He can always grab that ghillie. He can always be silly and jump the ghillie. He's been working on it. It's tight. That guy knows exactly what he's doing with that thing. So I do think there's the club and sub chance on Chris Duncan, but I think Rebecki just wears on him, man. I think Duncan tries the ghillie, ends up on his back. I think Rebecki pins him against the fence. And we have seen Duncan kind of slow a little bit before, and then he pulls something out of his ass. I think this is the fight where he doesn't pull something out of his ass. I think this is the fight where all those tricks, all that offense, it just kind of doesn't amount to much. He doesn't get the finish. He can't quite get his arms around that tiny little neck that's almost not there on Rebecki. And I think Rebecki's going to beat him up. I don't think Duncan is all that durable. I know he's got heart for days, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's all that durable. I think Rebecki's going to beat him up. And then like round 2 TKO. Rebecki, round 2 TKO, round 3 TKO. It's 55 and 11 to 1. Those are, I think, the best way that this thing goes. And this is a violent spot. I think this fight does not go the distance because if Duncan's going to win this fight, it's going to be that guillotine, in my opinion, right? Or it's going to be a range game. He's going to catch him coming in with like a knee or a straight punch or something like that. He'll just ice him with something big. It Factor, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you being here. Sparring partners. I didn't know that. Okay. Hey, we always talk about those teammate angles, right? Like one guy knows that he's going to win every time. The other guy finds out in a big way. All right, guys, main event time. We've got Hyung-Sung Park and Tatsuro Tyra. They size up pretty dang well. And I if you guys follow me on socials, I posted a picture of Tatsuro. This kid looks like a man now. That's one thing I always talk about is the man muscles. You've got these young kids that are getting to the UFC 22, 23, 24 years old. They don't got their man muscles yet. There's a density that the elder statesmen develop. When you're 29, when you're 30, when you're 31, your body just does something. And men become men, right? Or I guess boys become men is the right way to say that. Some of these young guys can't quite get the strength up and over some of these men. We're seeing it with guys like Raul Rosas Jr., right? Very strong, not man muscle. Same thing with Tyra. He looks like a man now, you guys. I mean, like, just look at his face. Like, he looks like he grew up 2 years since we saw him in his last fight. I think that fight with Brandon Royval is going to pay dividends. I think he's going to have learned what it takes to really be in the shit at the deep end of this weight class from that fight. And Hyung-Sung Park, you guys know I am just not a believer whatsoever in these Road to UFC guys. He, again, looks to be the legitimate one. Like, the two legit Road to UFC guys are on this card. And I think he's good. But this is a legendary step up in competition. Like, he's coming up on short notice to save this thing because Tyra's opponent fell out. But this is crazy. Going from Shannon Ross and Carlos Hernandez to Tatsuro Tyra and Steve Erceg, that is a wild jump in competition. The UFC either believes so much in this guy that he is legitimately just going to be the next big thing, or they're selling on him. Like it can't be anything else than that, because even the Steve Erceg fight, like that's still just a legendary jump. It's like one of those guys is shot, right? One of those guys is busted if they're making that fight because they want to get a name on somebody's resume. This one they're just saving the fight. It's Tatsuro Taira season for me though. I think he's going to be able to grapple with Park, and then he's by far the more well-rounded of the fighter of the two. And I think he's more vicious when it comes to his submission grappling. So I think it's Tatsuro Taira, and I think he's going to teach Park a thing or two about grappling at this high level. I do think it's going to take him some time though. So I kind of feel like we get like a round 2, round 3, maybe even like a round 4 sub from Tyra. I think he returns the favor of those late rounds to this Park kid and teaches him a thing or two the deeper this thing gets. I actually really like the 3-leg submission special this week, you guys. The problem is it's ass. It doesn't pay jack shit, but I actually really, really like it. You know, that's my favorite thing to do is the 3-leg sub prop, and it almost never hits because how many times do we actually get 3 submissions on one card? I need to trim it down to 2 from now on. But Bashi by sub, Vieira by sub, and Tyra by sub. They're all right around even money. They're all very close, but it's like plus 930. I know it's not sexy, you know, and not even getting 10 to 1 on that. It's 3 legs, but I really think that hits. I think Bashi wins by sub unless he decides he wants to get a knockout, right? Which is why I said play inside the distance for that one. And then I really think Vieira can and will sub Tresean Gore, and same thing here with Tyra. I think the deeper this fight gets, I think Tyra subs Hyung-Sung Park at some point in this fight as well. So I like those. Just for those of you who caught up and joined late, I'll recap here real quick. The hot take is Kaitlyn Souza, and I kind of like Kaitlyn Souza by sub at 20 to 1. I know, sounds crazy. But I like Kaitlyn Souza by sub, Kaitlyn Souza round 3. That's my psycho play for the week. I do think Esteban wins by TKO. He better do it before he gasses. Austin Bashi by sub is the move. Play inside the distance at minus 160 instead, just to be safe. Kid's going to be developing and improving. Klein live bet if he looks like he's sticking around, but Pulev probably wins that fight, right? Vieira by sub, already talked about that. Fletcher live bet, maybe. It's probably Nakamura by decision, minus 125. That's not a bad price tag because he probably does just grind his way out to a decision. I don't know. I would almost think TKO if he was going to finish that fight. I would almost think it was like a brutal, vicious ground and pound. Really show Nathan the fucking door if he's going to win that fight. But if not, it's going to be a close decision type of situation. Kevin Vallejos by decision. I've flopped on that one, like I said, and not thinking KO so much anymore, more thinking it's a decision. And Danny Silva by decision is interesting because I do think that one ends up being tight and going over. I'm very tempted on Neil Magny also by decision. And then I think Carol Hosa by decision. I am praying it's Nora Cornell by KO, but it's more than likely not. Esteban Ribovics, that's the one. Gosh dang, I'm picking all these anti-violence spots this week, man. I do think it's Esteban probably by decision in this one. I think Elvis probably can. No, let's say Esteban by KO. Let's give Esteban credit for a KO. Why don't we? Briner has taken some serious heat his last couple fights. He's coming off a bad KO loss. Let's say Esteban by KO. Rebecki by KO, and then Tyra by sub. So yeah, I think we get a lot of decisions this week. Frankly, you guys, it could be a rough night. From like a long-term full card viewing perspective, I think we might get a lot of decisions, unfortunately. But I think the good fights are going to be damn good fights. You know what I mean? I don't have any bets locked in, you guys. I will be betting Bashi inside the distance. I will be betting Kaitlyn Souza. Those are probably the ones that I really like. And then we'll see from there. But going to keep it small, going to keep it tight, going to keep it light this week. Hope you all absolutely smash. I am so grateful to you guys. Thank you all so much for the good vibes. They've made a world of difference to me. I know I get victory lapped and laughed at all the time on the internet for being bad at picks and stuff like that. But when life really gets into the shit, it's tough. It's real tough. And balancing everything that I do, working 2 jobs, also taking care of my grandfather, and then having you guys being able to help throw me just a good vibe here and there. It just means the world, you guys. Trying not to get too sappy on you here. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. But just know I appreciate you guys. I hope you crush this weekend. Absolutely smash tomorrow. Make piles of money. and then come in here and tell me about all the money you made and throw me a $5 tip. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Love you all from the bottom of my heart. We'll see you Monday for the podcast. As always, we ain't going nowhere. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Let's roll. Sorry for the audio issues.